Good. Let me go. I'm going to go over to.
We are live. Ah, I should have brushed my hair.
All right. Yeah, we're live. How's it going, Raven?
It's going. So, okay, so we're broadcasting. So, I mean, this will end up being anybody who wants to watch, I suppose they can watch. Um, right. Okay, so I don't have, oh wait, comments. What is that? I don't see the chat, the private chat. Oh, there it is. Oh, this is different.
Yeah, it's very different.
Huh. Let's see. Oh, ooh.
The only thing about it, StreamYard I find kind of annoying is that while you can see the public comments, you can't reply from here. You have to go open up
Yeah.
another window. Now it's not a big deal for me. I've got 3 monitors, but it's still a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have all that because, I don't have like a taking over the world setup. So, okay, so I mean, I have no idea if people are watching. Um,
Let me
and
see.
I wouldn't expect them to be because I'm
Take,
kind of out of the blue. But I assume when we're done and we end broadcast, this is going to end up on my channel as a video.
yes.
So, I want to say really quickly, since we're already broadcasting and we have been for 1 minute and 45 seconds, um, hello world. Welcome to my first broadcast since I've been back while using StreamYard, which is pretty cool so far. Okay, so my plan is to start making videos again and start being active on YouTube again. I have selfish reasons for that. Also, I've kind of missed being on and doing things and all that fun stuff. So, yeah, yeah. So there's that. So, and I had mentioned briefly in the video that I put up the other day, the 45-second, 52-second, whatever it was, video the other day, that I had a lot to tell everyone, and I wanted to introduce everyone to Raven. So, um, I think I will do that right now. So, let's see here. Hi.
Hi, Raven.
Hi. That's all it takes. If you want to be someone else, just change your name. All right. So, as most of my longtime subscribers, well, even short term, most of the people that follow my channel or have followed my channel, all that fun stuff, are aware that for many years I was on HRT. I was taking a testosterone blocker and I was taking estrogen. And that was why I had my internet shattering boobs that I like to shake on camera all the time. That I don't really do so much anymore. Um, but what some of you might not know is that I am on a hormone regimen once again. And this time I'm doing it a bit more seriously. I'm actually under a doctor's care, actually a couple of different doctors, and they are prescribed. I'm not buying them on the internet. And I am transitioning. Exactly how far, exactly what kind of transition is mostly kind of undecided. Although I will not be getting a vaginoplasty at all. That I already know. So people always ask about surgeries, and it kind of is none of their business, but
Hmm.
I understand why people ask. People are curious.
Yeah,
Um, so anyway, how you doing, Joe?
I'm doing all right because you're doing all right.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I had to take care of that little bit of housekeeping there. Um, so my pronouns are he, she, and they, and my reasoning for that, I've actually talked about that on the Breakfast Club broadcast that I'm on almost every week with Got That Funk and Serious Mind and a few other people, friend of Raven. Oh, thank you. Um, Joe here is a member of the Friends of Raven Society.
I think I'm the founding member. Well, maybe Peaches. I'm the vice president.
Yeah, I should see if she'll do that. That would be funny. That would be cool. Um, so yeah, people who watch the Breakfast Club, you guys have seen me there, and you've heard me talk about pronouns, and why I don't really have a preferred. But that's not entirely true. I actually, the further I get into transition, um, the more I do like she and her and hers. Um, but honestly, it doesn't. It's not a big deal to me.
Mm.
Um, the way I see pronouns is they're used as a way. Basically it's shorthand for saying your name all the time. You don't have to. Somebody
Right.
don't have to say, you know, hey, I saw Raven and Raven is doing this and Raven is good. And you can shorten that and get rid of that repetitive, awkward nonsense and just use a pronoun. I don't get upset about pronouns because if you perceive me as a he, the natural pronoun selection for you to use when speaking of me would be he. And if that's how you perceive me, why would I get upset about that? I mean, you can't really help your perception. And I have more power over your perception than you do. Um, because you can't help it.
Right. Right. Well, I
Um,
think I was thinking about this morning actually, and I think mostly thinking about the people who get irritated that they have to think about someone's pronouns. It's like, okay, I don't know of any trans person who is upset. Well, because first off, you don't use the person's pronoun when they're around. You don't need to. You would just, if I'm talking to you, I would say hello or you or Raven or whatever.
right.
I wouldn't use a pronoun. It would be referring to you when you're absent. And so, but I think it really comes down to the people who get pissed off about it. It's all because they're trans denialists. It's basically they don't want to accept the person's identity, and that's what actually upsets trans people and their allies. It's not what actual word you use; it's the intent behind what your word you're using.
Largely, it's true. Largely, I agree with that. But I have made a Twitter account under the name of Raven. I'm on trans Twitter, and I see trans women all day long getting upset that the guy at the grocery store misgendered them.
Mm.
Um, in the meantime, they are bald here. They have a beard. They have a man's voice. Again, it's not disrespectful. It's perception.
Right,
And
right,
if you want people who are strangers, right, and you want them to perceive you a certain way, well, then you have work to do that. You can't just assume that everybody that meets you is going to know
mm.
who you are, or what you're going through, and what your station is in life, or whatever. None of that stuff. I mean, you could. There's no way they would know.
Right,
Um, Now, if it's someone let's say I told my niece the other day that I was going by Raven. If she now calls me Uncle Rob all the time, that's a bit upsetting because she's already been told,
right, right.
and it's family. And that would be disrespectful.
Yeah. I mean, I think if someone is used to calling it and they slip, that's different. I mean,
Right. And typically you can tell.
yeah,
Typically you can tell. I know, for those of you who don't know, I'm actually going for electrolysis treatments. I had my first session yesterday, and they only did about that much space on either side of my upper lip. It was an hour to do that, and it cost $90. This is going to take forever. But the woman
mhm,
who was doing it, while she was yapping away, she said, I get the feeling that you're the kind of person who doesn't hide her feelings. And I said absolutely nothing. I giggled a little bit, but I was just like, yeah, there you go.
right.
She putting in an effort.
Self-corrected,
Yeah,
self-corrected. Yeah.
self-corrected. She's putting in an effort. I mean,
Well,
and she owes me nothing.
right, right. Well, and your point about the person with the bald head and the beard. Yeah, I think sometimes I wonder with someone like that, and we've talked about this. That there's the people who you know um, they there are people who do want to make a thing of whatever and I always question their motivations and stuff like that. But yeah, if someone doesn't know, I think it's right to get upset if someone makes the mistake and then you correct them and then they continue to do it on purpose. Now they're doing it on purpose because they're trying to disrespect you. So certainly, yeah, then get pissed off at that person because that person is willfully doing it. And I think that's but you're right. The person who freaks out is like, well, excuse me, miss, but how the fuck was I supposed to know? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and typically, if somebody's doing it to be disrespectful, you can tell.
Yeah.
If you're going to use my pronouns, or my choice of pronouns, or my lack of a choice of pronouns as a weapon, yeah, then we're going to have a problem. If you forget, if you slip, if you don't know anything about me and you just perceive, a man, well, why the hell would I get upset about that? Why would anybody get upset about? But they do. But they do. And that's what causes a lot of the problems. That's what causes, my opinion, the backlash against trans people and people who list their pronouns. Um, because I mean, they're oversensitive people. I mean, I see it, like I said, I see it all the time. I went to the store and I was misgendered 3 times. Yeah, by absolute strangers who see what they see. It's not
Mm.
their fault.
Right. Right. I mean, and I've seen that with people who, I guess the word is still used. There are people who have a very androgynous appearance that you look at them and you can't tell. I mean, they could be
Right.
anything or everything. And yeah,
To
and
them, I say, "Hey, man, what's up, man?"
excuse me. Yeah. Well, and that's one of the reasons why. I mean, in general, it's funny. The people that are getting on, the non-trans people who are getting so bent out of shape about even having to acknowledge that it exists, and trying to police people's language when these people say they. I've been saying they since the '90s, not because of any trans-related issue. I had no concept of trans people in the '90s, but I was challenged by some women. Like it was funny. It was when I lived in Buffalo briefly. There was this woman who had a dog, and I said, "What's his name?" And she said, "Well, it's not a he, it's a her." And you know, and I remember at the time getting kind of annoyed, but thinking about it later. But I thought about it afterward, and I said, "Well, that's a point," because I said, "Well, because I used the whole thing of, well, in the absence of knowledge, the default." And she's like, "Well, why is that the default?" And I was like, "Oh." So I started using they because, like, all right, well, if I use they, I'm, and again, I was just looking at it strictly from a dichotomous, male, female, man, woman kind of thing. I just said, all right, I'll just say they, and then I can't fuck it up. I gotta take this call.
There you go. I'm muted. I'm talking about nothing to myself. All right. So anyway, I was saying, yeah. So I've been going to electrolysis, and I've been going. Well, I got into one. I got another appointment next week. It's a long process. Um, it's a painful process. So what they do is they have this needle, right? This needle with a current going through it that they can actually hit the button to shoot the current, and they poke it into your skin, into the hair follicle, and they fry it. And they got to do one at a fucking time.
Wow. Ouch.
What's bad is I could hear the follicle frying. I could hear it. She hits it, and I heard. I was like, "Oh, that's nasty."
fried follicles. You never see that in the menu.
But yeah, I mean, and I'm looking forward to getting it all done. It's just such a long fucking process. So I mean, people are telling me that I should, because the thing is, I was gonna do laser. Everything is now laser hair removal, laser hair removal. Laser hair removal doesn't really work. It does, but it's not permanent.
Mm.
Like the electrolysis is permanent. Once it's fried, it's fried. But laser isn't permanent. And on light colored hair like mine or white, it doesn't really work.
Mm.
So you have to go back for electrolysis anyway. And a lot of my beard, unfortunately, a large percentage of my beard is white.
Mm.
So the problem also with white is that it's also harder for electrolysis. You actually need a higher current,
Oh,
which hurts more, and it takes a little bit longer. So because of all the white in my mustache and beard, it's what took so long yesterday. I only got such a small area done.
wow.
Um,
It looks like
yeah,
it's a little swollen too.
yeah, a little puffy.
Yeah.
Kind of red. She said it might scab up. It might get little white heads. But never know. You know.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I mean, I've actually had laser surgery for some other thing to remove cysts, and yeah, I mean it's like if you just completely destroy the tissue, it grows back with hair follicles. But if you
Yeah.
destroy the follicle, it basically is scar tissue and it won't grow.
Right. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean,
Uh,
with laser, when they remove all your hair with laser, it comes back, but it comes back finer and it comes back more sparse. You know,
mm,
it's not as thick, but still, it comes back.
it comes back.
So electrolysis, it should take about 20 sessions or so at $90 a session.
Ouch.
So I have oh, and yeah, it'll be in the description, by the way, on YouTube. In the description, there will be a link to a GoFundMe that I've set up for breast implants.
Mm,
And some of you might not think I need breast implants, but believe me, I do. Um, so to pay for the electrolysis because it's so expensive. So I'm not twisting anybody's arm. You don't want to donate, don't donate. But I will leave the link in the description. Also, I will leave the link to my Amazon wish list, which has all kinds of stuff from women's clothing and shoes, some nice stuff, um, and up to like a gaming chair, so I can get rid of this piece of shit that makes a lot of noise and is uncomfortable.
mm,
Um, to a pizza stone because I want to make pizza at home. To like a $600 camera that I figure things like um, some sugar daddy or a chaser might decide to buy. Um, so that's on my Amazon wish list, and there will be a link to that too. So if you want to check it out, you can check it out. But I'm not expecting any of my YouTube followers to pick up anything, but it would be nice if you did. Or if you wanted to like suggest things that I can put on there, that would be great too.
mm.
Um,
Yeah. Actually,
Go
you
ahead.
mentioned the laser. I mean, because I really hate. Well, you see, I've always got stubble because it's like I get the Fred Flintstone or the Homer Simpson. Like 8:45 shadow. Um, so I would depending on how hard long it takes and how painful it is, I might do the laser just even if even though it's going to come back, if it'll make it thinner and easier to manage, that would be kind of cool too.
Yeah, it should. It should. It's expensive though.
Mm,
Um, all of it is expensive. Like I was looking at a place for the electrolysis. They wanted 160, yeah, an hour.
mm,
Now that I see what an hour is, that would have ended up being a lot of fucking money.
yeah, holy crap.
So the place that I found is actually closer to home, and it's $90. Um, and I mean that sucks. It's still, still gonna end up being a couple $1,000 um, to do it all, but whatever.
Mhm.
Liam, holy hell, hello, Liam.
Uh,
Liam, I miss you. And I don't know where you parked your car, but
I have to go back and look now. Oh wow, Leah.
yeah, I haven't seen you in forever. Miss you,
He's,
man.
he's just hanging
Let me
out in
see
the
everybody.
village.
Yeah, he
having
is.
going to the pub and having a good time, from what I can see.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong with that. Nothing
Ain't
wrong.
nothing wrong with that. Um, yeah, I don't really go to pubs or hang out in any villages or.
Well, yeah. Well, lately I haven't done much of anything.
Yeah, you, me, and the rest of the world.
Yeah. Although,
That's
I mean,
always been.
occasionally, but for mostly, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, you cook. I mean, I don't cook as often, but I mean, I cook sometimes. And Suzanne does a lot of cooking, so it's like we can make good food and not spend stupid amount of money. Although I do order a lot from like DoorDash and shit like that because I get lazy.
I've never used DoorDash or the Uber Eats or whatever the hell it is. I've never used any of that. My daughter uses it all the time for every fucking thing. There'll be a knock on the door, and it's like a Dunkin' Donuts bag, and it's like,
Mm.
you couldn't go to Dunkin' Donuts for this. It's like,
Well, see,
really?
the thing is, it's really good for people who are either introverts or lazy or both.
Well, I mean, I don't think she's an introvert, but she's definitely lazy apparently. Because she does. She'll have like DoorDash bring the stupidest shit. Do you pay more for that?
Well, see, it depends. There's very often a charge. However, like what I did was on both DoorDash and Seamless, which Seamless and Grubhub are the same company. But I joined their monthly thing, so I pay $10 a month, and then many of the vendors then no longer have a delivery charge, and then you have to pay a tip to the driver. But that's all right.
Okay.
So it's definitely more expensive than going out and doing it yourself. But like especially what happens with us. Sometimes we'll get busy with work and it'll be getting late, and we didn't take anything out of the freezer and nothing's prepared, and we're like, "Do you want to cook? No, you want to go? Yeah, fuck it. Let's just call DoorDash or Seamless or something and get something good."
It's pretty cool. No, we don't eat out anymore. We really don't even do pizza anymore. Um, Peach had high cholesterol. Was it high cholesterol?
Oh,
And I did too. I have had high cholesterol for a long time. But she and I both had put on some weight. So, um, not lots. I put on lots. I mean, she has a lot of baby weight. She thinks she's like really fat, and it's just like, you just had a baby. She just had a baby. You need to relax, you know?
yeah,
But
yeah.
but still, I mean, I get it. She doesn't feel comfortable. She's not happy with it, so she has every right to, complain about it.
Mm.
So what we've done is she's doing it really, really well. I'm not doing so well, but it's intermittent day fasting. So she'll
Mm.
go an entire day and not eat anything, and I'll go the entire day pretending not to eat anything.
Suzanne's laughing. um,
And then the next day we eat whatever we want. So in other words, every other day she eats, and every day I eat whatever I want.
um, see, the problem is for me because of the diabetes, I can't.
Yeah.
So it's like now, see, for me though, if I were to, what I really need to do is I need to like really cut way down on carbs and just go with proteins and things like that. Because that, I mean, when I was eating just that, my sugar was perfect. It was right on target, and I was losing weight too. It's hard though. I mean, because I love bread and I love rice and pasta and
Yes, yes. Okay, like today is an eating day, and I am supposed to. I mean, it's technically I can eat whatever I want, but I did yesterday. So what I've been trying to do is try to limit what I'm eating on the fasting days, and then again on the eat whatever you want day, I've also been trying to limit it also to make up for the fact that I'm not following the program the way I'm supposed to.
mm,
So I had to run to Walmart. I hate fucking Walmart. I hate Walmart, but sometimes you don't have a choice.
mm.
So I ran to Walmart, and while I was out, I stopped at Burger King and I got a Whopper Junior. Um, but just that, no fries. It's just a Whopper Junior. And I'm like, look, I'm doing so good. So, okay. Um, I want to get back. I want to get back to the Raven things. I don't know if I really fully explained that.
Right,
Um,
right.
so for those of you who don't know, who don't follow me on social media or watch me on the Breakfast Club broadcast weekly, I am Raven. I have not legally changed my name, but if I do, it will be to Raven. Um, I I like it. At first I was just trying it on, and I had a few friends, Shara, everybody knows Shara,
Hmm.
for one, and who immediately picked it up and was constantly, constantly constantly calling me Raven, and it really kind of grew on me. So at first it was just to try it on, and yeah, yeah, I like it. So Raven. So yes, and I am trans. I am transitioning. So just in
Cool.
case you guys didn't know. Okay, so there'll be a link to my GoFundMe to help pay for transition. There'll be a link to my Amazon wish list. And if you're not sure, my bra size is 38B. Um, bras are expensive, yo. I'm just saying. That's expensive. There'll be a link to my OnlyFans because I have an OnlyFans. There's nothing on there yet. I'm still learning how to use it. And there'll be a link to my Facebook page and possibly Twitter. Um, Lots of links, which
Many,
is
many
odd.
links, linkages.
Many, many links. Well, I mean, in my previous, incarnation on the tubes, I really didn't have a whole lot of links. I didn't do that kind of stuff.
Mm.
So,
Well, see, the thing is, I remember back in the day too, and I never really understood it. Um, is that like, okay, if you put, say, if you put a link to, your wish list or whatever, and people are like, oh, you're e-bagging, you're e-bagging. I'm like, no, it's commerce, and people have the right to support you if they want to. And they're not obligated to. I never bothered because I mean, I don't really need anything, but
yeah.
but the thing is that I never understood it. And it's like, well, I asked some people like, well, do you give to charity? They're like, yeah. Well, do you see their ads on TV and online? Yeah. Well, is that e-begging? And they go, no. I'm like, well, what fucking difference is
Right.
it?
Right. And
you
I
know,
get that. And I used to get upset by the people at the beginning when people started doing the, buy me things or send me money or whatever. I mean, it was, wait, we're all doing this. It doesn't cost you any money to do this. It's a free service, Why would you want to be compensated? Um, but yeah, I mean, my attitude has changed quite a bit since then.
well,
And
and
if somebody wants to buy me something, I would prefer they buy me something that I want rather than, hey, here's a lifetime supply of pet rocks because they only live a couple years. Um,
yeah, yeah. Well, they're easy to bury, but they're a bitch at the crematorium, though. I'll tell you.
so since I was talking about my bra size, now I'm wondering if I should have worn a different color shirt.
Yeah, because they're not
You can't
standing out.
you can't see. Um, yeah, so if you guys remember my boobs from way back in the day, they're a lot bigger now.
You need to get one of those '60s conical bra, shirt things where it's like, "Hi, I have breasts."
Hi. Um, I have a push-up bra that I wear sometimes for pictures and stuff, so it's just like there's my cleavage. Um, but anyway, so there'll be all that kind of stuff. You love rocks? Oh wait, check out my hair too. I mean, it's a mess right now, but and it's kind of humid today, so it's doing this really weird wavy thing. It never normally doesn't do that. So okay, wait. So check out the hair. I haven't had this much hair since the 80s.
Mm,
But it's still not grown really long. Peach keeps telling me to relax, and it will. Just
mm.
stop, it'll grow.
It
But
takes a
I don't
while,
know. Yeah, I guess. I
but see,
guess.
you're fortunate though that yours can grow down like that. Like what back in the late '80s, I tried, because I'm a metal guy, so I tried to. Yeah, well, yeah, basically it just goes.
Did you look like a mushroom?
And well, it's really funny. I remember when I was a kid, because of my coloration and because my hair would get, like that, um, that a number of people tried to insult me by calling me a Puerto Rican Jew.
Juan Epstein.
Yeah, basically.
Remember Juan Epstein?
I do remember Juan Epstein. and apparently that was a thing. And I mean, obviously there's Puerto Rican Jews, but it's funny because like both black people and some Jewish people do get that kind of fro thing going on. So I thought, well, Philip, you know, he calls it his Jew fro.
Jufro, yeah.
Yeah.
When I was with Ozzy, he had a nephew who was half Puerto Rican and half black.
Mm.
And he was a big guy, big heavyset guy, very tall. Um, and he got this absolutely magnificent afro, and it shined. I mean, it had a shine to it, and it was so soft. It was just like you could just like crawl up in it and go to sleep. It was like some of the soft hair. You like by looking at it, you could see how soft it was. It wasn't
Mm.
like cotton, it was just absolutely beautiful. And everybody called him Afro Thunder.
That's
That
great.
was his nickname, was Afro Thunder.
Afro. That's awesome. Yeah, so which reminds me, you know, I was watching a thing and it was talking about, you know, it had to do with black women and hair, and it was the whole thing about, you know, people who want to touch our hair, and I'm like, I never had a problem with people who wanted to touch it. It's just that anyone who did it like without like fucking asking me, like, hey, well, look at your hair. It's like get your fucking hands out of my
Well, I
hair
mean,
without
it's
asking.
weird enough when they ask, I would assume. I mean, that's just kind of weird. Hey, man, how you doing? Can I touch your hair? The fuck out of here.
Um, well, I mean, certainly it's weird from a stranger. It's very weird from a stranger. From somebody I know who's just curious, I'd be like, okay, they're trying, you know, I'm sure they've been wondering, and they you know, they just really want to, you know, to see what it was like. Because and the thing is, it does vary. I mean, because being a mixed race, I mean, my hair curls, but it's not as, you know, like structural as you know, like my sisters, for instance, or my brothers for that matter. But
Afro
so it's
Thunder
kind of
had
in between.
Afro Thunder had very tight curls, and they were
Mm,
very soft. And I
mm.
mean, it looked like it was, and I mean, you could like take your hand and push like in his hair, and when you pull your hand away, there'd be a hand imprint, and
Oh, jeez,
it would slowly,
that's funny.
amazing. The guy had amazing hair.
Yeah, I mean, because it can be, our hair can be, someone's got whose hair is curly but very kinky. Also, that tends to make it very structural. So, like if you touched it, the individual fibers would feel harder. But not every. Like I said, in my case, it's not the case. Um, but I remember when I was a kid, this guy Stephen Belluardo, and we were like second grade, and he was like, "Can I touch your hair?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "It's soft like a rug."
That's funny.
So I always remember
Yeah, no, I mean, as
Stephen.
a white person, I don't have that. People don't want to touch my hair.
Nope.
Um, and that's okay. And if they did ask, if anybody ever asked, I would think that's weird. And if they didn't ask, that's even weirder. Um, although, I mean, the woman who did my electrolysis yesterday did compliment my hair. She said, "You have great hair." And yesterday it looked a lot better than now. So,
Mm.
um,
Speaking of which, I'm looking at myself. See, this is the reason why you're gonna laugh. One of the reasons why I don't make more videos than I do. It's not the only reason, certainly, but one of the reasons is that, like, as much as I guess in a certain way I'm vain. So I'm like, I mean, I'll go on in a live stream like this, but to make a video that's got a point that I'm going to stress, like no, I got to get this shit tightened up. And so a lot of times I'm like all ready to make a video. I'm like, oh, my hair looks like crap. Look at it.
well, I mean, I've been wanting to get back on YouTube, and I'm glad I'm doing my own stream, and I'm really glad that you're here. But I had to run to Walmart, like I said before. So, and Damon comes home in about an hour. He comes home from school.
Mm.
So, I mean, I didn't have a whole lot of time. Otherwise, yeah, I would have showered and made sure I looked a lot better than. But I was like, you know what? What the hell? Um, so my channel, I will be making videos again. I believe that is the plan. I will be making videos again. It's not going to be the great debate type
Mm.
stuff. It'll be about trans issues, about my journey in particular, where I am and where I'm going. Um, as much of my physical changes, I guess, that I can possibly do on YouTube. Um, what else? Um, I will talk about. I have a lot of ideas. I want to do some interviews. I want to interview some LGBT people. I already have one person who is interested.
Hmm.
It's a trans woman from YouTube. She is in a similar point in her transition as me, and so that'll be good. I don't want to say her name just in case she backs out, but
Right, right.
I want to ask some other people LGBT. I want to ask some bigger channels. I wanted to see if I can get Stevie Bobby
Hmm.
to come on for an interview. Um, she follows me on most of my social media, so I don't think she'd be really hard for me to get a hold of. Um, she's like a massive channel at this point, though.
Hmm.
You know, you guys familiar with Stevie Bobby? Everybody's familiar with Stevie Bobby.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
I sort of met her at the Salt Lake City American Atheist Convention, like just really briefly. It was just like she was walking by, and it was like because we had mutual friends, so it was like I was standing with some mutual friends, and she came over, and it was just like, oh hi, and then bye.
yeah.
Um,
Well, she was at an event that I think it was the Women's March. Um, some event. At the same time as Peach and I, and we could never find each other. We couldn't, and we're texting, where the fuck are you, kind of a stuff, and we never found each other. But
mm,
you know, um, so yeah, I mean, the fact that she has remained an internet friend of mine, even though she's moved to the UK, she's become really kind of famous on YouTube. She is like the queen lesbian, on the internet. um, I'm like, wow, that's really cool that this, woman values what I have to say, even though I don't say much anymore.
right.
She makes sure she remains in touch. Like every now and then on Facebook, she'll like something that I post out of nowhere. Then I won't see her here, and it's kind of like I don't know if she really agreed with what I put, or if it's just a hey, I'm still. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Because I know I'll do that with people that I don't interact with a lot. I'll hey, I'm still here. Something.
Oh yeah, I
Thumbs
do that
up
too.
or yeah, because you don't want people to think you forgot them.
Mm.
I just
Well,
can't talk to everybody.
what's really funny is like there are some people you won't hear from in a while, and then all of a sudden you get like 15 likes on a whole bunch of different posts.
Yeah, and I think that's what that is. I think they're catching up. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think it'll be fun. I want to do like in my videos. I want to do like maybe I'll do an interview and I'll do a rant, and then there's another thing I want to do is where I do a like a um definition time or something, like maybe like at the end of the video, the closing like segment of the video, I'll do like a definition of a word like chaser, and then let
Mm,
everybody know what a chaser is,
mm.
for those who don't know, because I'm sure there are some people who don't know.
Um,
So
like a bug chaser.
well, okay, that's one kind, yeah. And then there's
uh
trans chasers.
okay.
um and a lot of trans women have problems with them. I don't mind them at all. My Twitter account, I've had a few chasers that follow me, and I'm fine. Um, but yeah, trans women that I talk to are like,
So I'm
they don't.
assuming a trans chaser is a person who prefers goes after follows trans people, or
Yeah,
their
yeah,
private preference towards trans people.
yeah. I mean, they'll post all kinds of like trans porn, um, and a lot of the trans women get upset about that, and it's just like, why? There's
Mm,
porn of everybody. As trans people, we are a segment of the population. We are a demographic that exists.
right,
Because we exist, there is going to be porn that features us.
right,
And because we are, for most people, would see us as exotic, because there is a small number of trans people overall, um, it would be the kind of porn that's in demand.
well,
So,
also, I would think, I mean, especially if you remember a few years back where there was a whole big kerfuffle about, there were some people saying, that some people were getting angry because some other people said, well, I will accept a trans person as their gender, but I'm not sexually attracted to them. And there were people who got upset about that. And I remember you had reacted to that because people were being ridiculous, and I'm like, so if anything, I would think if the fact that there's trans porn, that there's a cadre of people out there who like that, isn't that good? Isn't that kind of accepting? Like, hey, now mind you, as long as the person who's watching the trans porn doesn't turn around and go beat up trans people, because I heard that that's a thing too. But because there's a certain amount of transphobia attached to it, but so that I can understand. But but yeah, some people are into it. Like,
I mean, and it's true. I mean, everybody has their thing, and if you're not attracted to it, you're not attracted to it. Although, I will say that anybody who says I am not attracted to trans women, period. I I am just not attracted. I would say that that is transphobic. It took me a little while to really see why that is, but eventually I was just like, no, that makes sense. That is transphobic. Basically, when somebody says, I am not attracted to trans people, period, trans women, period, what they're saying is there isn't a single trans woman alive now or ever will be that I would find attractive. And that is bullshit. That's bullshit. So it's either you are a liar or you're transphobic. Um,
well, I think in the context of the thing that was happening, it was like it had to do with trans people who didn't do the downstairs surgery,
yeah, but
and
I mean, even if they did, like, there is a girl, Ivy Stevens. If you're familiar with her, she's a friend of Shayra. She's absolutely beautiful.
no, not familiar.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Um, yeah, she did not do the bottom surgery. I mean, as far as I am aware, and she does have the top surgery, and she's absolutely beautiful. She's absolutely gorgeous. Any man who looks at her and thinks she's not attractive because she's trans, they're
Hmm.
lying.
Oh well,
They're
yeah, no, I agree
absolutely,
with you there.
they're lying.
I,
Um,
I,
whether or not they want to have sex with her might be a different story,
right.
because, you know, um, but to say that she's just not attractive or you're not attracted to her would be absolute bullshit. Just
Right.
it just
Well, like
no.
like Lorraine Cox. I mean, she's hot.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of trans women, a lot of trans men that are attractive. There's Elliot Page recently posted a photo,
Oh yeah, I saw
standing
that.
next to
Yeah.
the pool with his, no shirt on, um, ripped stomach. I mean, his, um, post-op chest is very manly, very masculine
Mm,
and square, but it's not muscular. But his stomach is like washboard abs.
mm.
Um,
Yeah, I
you
was
know,
actually I saw that picture. I was really surprised. Like, whoa, yeah.
I was like, damn, you know. To look at him and to say that he's not an attractive man would be a lie. That's just a lie. Um, Again, that doesn't mean you would want to have sex with them. You don't have to be sexually attracted to somebody to find them attractive or to think that they're
True.
beautiful.
That's true.
So, so to say, there's not a single trans woman, I'm just not attracted at all. That's a lie.
Mm.
Or you're transphobic. It's one or the other. Um, and lying about it to me makes more sense because there is a social stigma. Um, you know, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I can see that. I mean, yeah. No, I mean, there's a trans woman who's been on uh, the Atheist Experience in recent days, and I forget her name, but I did not know when when I first saw her, I didn't even know, and I was like, oh, she's hot, and I was like, then it's like, oh, well, she's still hot. you
Still
know,
hot.
she didn't
Yeah.
become not hot once I found out she was a trans woman.
Um, what else, Joe? Oh, I know what else.
What?
So this is very this broadcast, being the first one from this channel since I came back, is very me centered, and I don't apologize. It is my channel, and I have a lot to tell everyone, and I have a lot to say, and there are things that way back when, um, were happening that nobody knew about, because it wasn't something that was advertised. Um, but like way, way back when, at the beginning of Madness, Mayhem, and Charity, I had been approached through multiple sources from multiple different trans women who had not begun transition yet. And they were, afraid. And there was many of them. I had gotten around that time, around the beginning of Madness Mayhem Charity, I was getting hundreds of emails from trans women.
Hmm.
Some of them saying about how they were inspired by the fact that I don't hide my boobs. Even though way back then I never said that I was transitioning.
Hmm.
Um, but recently, a few of them who I am still in touch with through social media, through a couple of different sources, have they told me that I cracked their egg. Um, and if they see this, um, as your trans mom, um, I am so proud of you because all of them have passed me as far as transitioning, and they are all beautiful and they are all strong women. And I am so proud of you. And if you do see me, whether it was in the past or if you still do, see me as your trans mother, I am flattered and thank you. So, wanted to get that out there.
So, okay, I'm not familiar with that expression, crack their egg. I find that
Um,
intriguing.
it's like, you haven't hatched yet. You're still in your egg.
Hmm.
And when you're ready, your egg hatches and you come out of your shell.
Hmm.
It's a coming out term, basically.
Oh, okay, cool,
Trans women that began their transition because they were inspired by me. I
cool.
cracked their egg. Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. And it is cool. And when they told me, there was a few of them all on the same day told me because I was basically crying about the fact that I was having such a hard time um, restarting my transition and becoming comfortable with things. And when they told me that, um, yeah, I thought I was going to cry. I was really touched. It was beautiful. So,
Hmm. That's awesome.
um, yeah, so I inspired them, and you know what? They inspired me right back. So,
That's excellent.
it is. I think it's most excellent. I do. So we talked about the channel. We talked about that. Hi, I am Raven. YouTube has this new thing where you can change your channel name.
Hmm.
And I am not sure if I want to. Um, I was thinking of changing it to Raven. Um, but then again, DevShell 2 just has such a long history
Yeah.
and internet presence, and so I don't know. So if you watch this, leave a comment letting me know what your thoughts are. Should DevShell 2 continue or should I change the channel name?
no,
You all right?
I'm thinking about the question. It's a tough question to
It is a
answer.
tough one. It is a tough one
Um.
because I mean, DevShell 2 was kind of a different person. It was a different time. The DevShell channel served a different purpose with different kinds of conversations and discussions. But I've got 1,927 subscribers who have not left. I mean, I had more than that before I disappeared from the intertubes. But now that I'm back, 1,927 is not bad considering.
We have almost identical numbers, and for the same reason.
um, but
Well, here's the thought. Since this is a new channel with a new incarnation of you and a new subject, maybe start a new channel.
the problem with starting a new channel is I kind of don't want to lose the viewer base that I have, and if I start a new channel, I might, and it's a lot harder to build up.
Well, what if you did a parallel for a while? Because here's the thing, um, you know, because will you have the same audience? And I think, especially since you're going to be talking about different topics, I think there's going to be a certain amount of the audience in common. But I think there's also you're going to be looking for new people that weren't necessarily interested in the old topics.
Yeah.
And there's going to be some people that were on this channel that maybe aren't interested in the new topic, which that's fine. And I thought about that too. I mean, it really depends on what you're going to do. I mean, that's why I know people who start second and third and fourth channels. And then there's people like Steve Shives, who just says, "Fuck it, I'm just doing whatever I want on my channel, and
Right.
you watch or you don't watch, whatever. I don't care." Um, so yeah, it's a tough choice. I mean, I guess the question is when you make a few, I guess make a few videos on this channel and don't change anything yet, and see what kind of viewership you get. Because I know for myself, like I've got about the same, somewhere in the low 1900 subscribers. If I do a video, I'm gonna my engagement is gonna be like 200 to 300 people, which means there's a whole bunch of people who are subscribed that don't actually watch my video anyway. So am I losing anything? It's kind of like
But here's see now YouTube has changed. Like people don't get notifications anymore unless they hit the little bell. So by the way, if you're subscribed and you have not hit the bell to get future notifications of videos. And if you are not subscribed, please like and subscribe now. Hey, thank you.
yeah. Um,
Um,
but you
so
know what I'm
I
saying. It's kind of like in the if you're from the being in the food industry, we've talked about this, like restaurants that go downhill or change themselves. There's always that fear of like, well, I've got whatever my customer base is, and if I do something different, if I transform the restaurant, am I going to lose the people I had? And then the question is always, well, were they paying the bills, or in this case, were they providing the psychic energy, return on investment that you were looking for? If the answer was no, don't worry about it.
Right. I mean, talk about like channel views. The last video I put up, which was basically a "Hey, I'm back." Yes, it was a text video. I didn't appear. It was just, but still, I mean, you don't know that until you watch it, right?
Right.
So, have less than 100 views on it, in a few days. So it's like, am I losing anything by changing the channel name? Because any new viewers I get from here on out are going to be um, involved in the discussion about trans issues.
Right.
Um,
It's a different audience,
it's a
or
different audience,
at least a partially different audience, anyway.
but I think most of my current viewers who are active viewers, most of them are aware of my transition and where I'm at, and
Mm.
um, Tommy, yes, Tommy, that's a great idea. Um, Yeah, but most of them are aware of what's happening in my life and stuff because they follow me elsewhere. So I don't think I would lose them. So if I lose
Right.
anyone over time of DevShell subscribers, it'll be people who are just going, "Oh, I didn't know that. I'm out."
Right. Right.
You know, so I don't know. I'd say that doesn't really help. It just kind of brings me right back around again to what should I do? So I don't know. Just
Yeah, I
be
mean, I've thought about that because I mean, obviously, I haven't done a lot of Greek debate stuff in a while. I don't know that I would ever stop, only because there's people, religionists who continue to try to, push their religious views into the law, and so I'll always want to. So that overlaps with my politics, and that was always kind of my reason to get involved in the first place, because I don't give a shit what people. Well, I shouldn't say that. I guess I don't really care what people believe to a degree, but I care about the actions that come out of that, and when it comes into anti-science or forcing religious views onto the public, then like it gets
right. I mean, and
my
again, I mean, in the same vein, my being trans obviously overlaps with my politics and
right,
overlaps with the things that I talked about on the great debate, in the great debate community.
right,
Um,
because the people who oppose you are largely the same people from
exactly. And there is, there is a natural, um, there is a, I mean, I'll just leave it Dev Shell too. I mean, I don't need to change the channel name. I think Tommy, keep the channel and use a cool Raven thumbnail like the one that I have. I don't know if you guys have noticed the thumbnail. It is the picture of me with a hair and makeup filter, and I look really good in that picture. I wish I could look that good in real life every day. I'm hot. Um, and and maybe in the future, maybe as Raven becomes more well known and maybe then I can change the channel name. I don't know.
Mm.
That might be what I'll do. I just saw that you could change your YouTube channel name, and I was just like, oh my god. wow, that's a possible thing. Since when? Because most of the time you can't change your name on stuff. You put it, that's it. You're stuck with it.
Right.
So
I've there's been times I've heard something or I've come up with an idea like, oh wow, that would really be a really cool channel name. If I made a new channel and I said, well, I could rename this one, like, but I really like Serious Mind, I really do. Um, and enough people know me by that now, even if they're not watching the videos.
yeah, I mean, I mean, I've got actually a few friends named Joe. So whenever I'm talking about you, I'm talking to Peach, I'll say Serious Mind.
Mm.
Um, Occasionally I'll use your last name, but most of the time I'll just say it's just easier. I'll be like, hey, you know what Sirius said?
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, because if I say Joe, it's just like which Joe?
Right, right.
You know,
Well, that's the one thing because there well actually that's one thing that actually now that your new name, that actually makes it easier for me because there's Rob, the formerly, the one who kept changing his name, Rith slash,
yeah,
name.
yeah.
So whenever I'm talking, like usually talking to Suzanne, and I say Rob, and she's like, well, which one? Like, oh, this Rob or that Rob. Like, now that's easy. That's like Rob and Raven. It's cool.
Yeah. It's funny. Every broadcast of the Breakfast Club, um, Paul got that funk, goes through the whole cycle. I mean, he's just like, so, well, we're talking about topic A. So, hey, Raven, what do you think about that topic? And I'll say what I have to say. Oh, that's really interesting, Rob. Well,
Yeah.
okay. So Dev, can you add any more? And it's just like, I'm like, love you, man. Pick one.
you're,
Just
you're
pick
a
one.
person of many
Uh,
personalities.
yeah, I'll answer to any one of the three. Just pick one.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, it's funny because I don't know if you know Chris Mowdy, but
I know the name, so yeah.
well, I guess what happened was remember when Google forced you to have a Gmail account, and so I did, and so I made one, and it was Joe Serious Mind. And so Chris kept calling me that because that's what the email is. Like, that's not my channel. My name is it's Serious Mind. I just had to, do that. He still does it sometimes. Or he'll say Joe, comma, Serious Mind. He won't actually say comma, but he'll put a pause in there. But I mean, well, and again, I'm fine with either one or both. Although there was one guy, what the fuck, some random geek. I was in one of Steve Shive's hangouts, and the guy said my full fucking name on the broadcast, and I was like, dude, don't ever fucking do that to me again. I purposely use
Yeah, we
the
use screen
pseudonym.
names. We use screen names for
Yeah,
a reason.
yeah. Don't I mean, and hell, I mean, the thing is, and it's like I had friended him briefly on Facebook until his communist bullshit just annoyed me, and I blocked him. But it's like, no, don't fucking say my full name. If I wanted to use my full name, I just would. I would just change the name of the channel.
Right.
But I don't on purpose. Um, so
So Tommy, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make it seem as though I was ignoring you. I mean, I tried my best to hide the fact that I was ignoring you.
that's good.
Um, love you too, Faith. Sherry, long time no see. Peach is doing well. She's actually upstairs working. She's working from home. Um, 4 days out of the week, she works from home. She has to go into the office once a week. It's because of COVID. I'm hoping it continues for a while. It would be nice, but I don't know. It is what it is. Um, and I don't know if you're still here, Liam. I miss you, Liam. I never see you anymore, Liam. Why are you always hiding, Liam? Um,
He's hiding.
um, how is that little one doing? I have news for you. There is not a little one anymore. There's two little ones. There's two because we are very busy. Yes, we now have two little ones. In case people didn't know, there is Damon, who is 3 years old. He is in school right now. He goes to preschool. Um, and then there is Kai. And Kai is 8 months old, and he is really chunky, and he is adorable. And he tries to crawl, which is really cool. Um, so yeah. What else?
I don't know.
I'm gonna
Um,
remember.
I am toying with making more videos again.
I
Um,
think you should. I think everybody should come back. Damn it.
yeah, I miss the old days. I miss Beware the Lizard. She was great.
Yes,
Um,
she was. I didn't really know her real well, but I did watch some of her stuff, and yeah, I miss her.
just as I was getting to know her is when she left, and I was just like, oh, but yeah, I was on uh, the former Rational Warriors podcast over the weekend, and we were talking about reparations.
Yeah.
And he was striking. I never met his friend James like in person. I've always been in the comments, and he stressed a couple times about how he wants me to come back. He's been lobbying to get me to come back and make more videos. But yeah, my channel. I mean, it already kind of has. If you look at the last 4 or 5 videos I had, it's more politics and also race politics as well,
Yeah.
and that'll continue.
Which
Um,
makes sense, considering the climate over the last couple of years.
yeah.
I mean, it, the great debate community 4 years ago um, was already difficult to maneuver in.
Mm,
There was just so much animosity. There was just so much nonsense that it was very difficult. Making
yeah.
videos had lost a lot of its luster. And
Yeah.
then Donald Trump becoming president just put a damper on a lot of people's attitudes. It was almost as though, even though most of us did absolutely nothing,
Mm,
um, there was this attitude that we were somehow, this feeling as that we were somehow fighting some, dreaded, invader, and we had to protect our way of life from this evil fascist, swarm that invaded the country. Um, but like I said, none of us did shit. We just, it was just really depression more than anything else.
mm.
But yeah, just the fact that yes, you are hiding. Damn it. Um, just the fact that Trump had been elected, a lot of us just stopped creating. Period. Not just videos, just everything. Um, and now that darkness has lifted, more and more people are like thinking about making a comeback.
I think you're spot on because I know that sapped a lot of the creative energy out of me because it was just like, you see things the way things were going, and it's just like it was hard to fathom how that was even happening.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, I'm not, as much as I'm an optimistic person, I've never been like a pie in the sky type of person, and like when Trump got elected, like I wasn't surprised. I was upset, but I wasn't surprised. Um, and a lot of things that happened, and even the things that were going on. On the one hand, I'm like people that especially a lot of white people expressed to me like, I can't believe this. I'm like, where fucking you been? But it's just thing is mostly the stuff was always like under the surface before, and so much of that just broke out. Like a Zerg horde, and was, you know, and it was kind of hard to accept, to deal with.
All right. Let me see.
Now, unfortunately, I've got to drive up to the Poconos, so I have got to get rolling.
All right.
But I'm glad I got to be in this with you for a while.
Ah,
Cool.
this is yeah. Check this. We're this way.
Oh,
Yeah,
when
this
you
is
got
my
me in the mirror there, you reminded me of something that I know you can see right now. Like when I look up, you can see the reflection in my glasses.
yeah.
So in a few videos, there were some people who complained and said, "Well, it's really distracting, because you can see and I can understand that." But then I decided to use that to my advantage. So there were certain times when I would put something on the screen that I wanted reflected, so it would have a little message. And one time there was a video I made about it was about the fact that Calvinists, 5 point Calvinists, believe that they're going to heaven, but according to their doctrine, like only somewhere between like 144,000 or 288,000 people are getting into heaven, and there's way more Calvinists than there are golden tickets. So I said, so then a bunch of them are wrong. And then I said, and then I got the Yule log going, and I got close so you could see the fire in my, and I said about a great many things while the fire burned, and it was like has a really
Nice.
cool
That's
effect.
good. Very, very, very nice. So yeah, this is my cosmetics kit, and that's something else I was thinking about doing on the channel. Letting people watch me put makeup on. Badly because I'm not really good at it, and I think doing it on videos and talking about it will help me feel not so weird about it, I guess. It'll help me get used to doing it, and I'll be able to get tips from people who are better at doing it, and I think it could be a good thing. I don't know, or I could be completely wrong, and I'm just talking out of my ass. I don't know.
Hey, it never stopped any of us before. So, Raven, welcome to your. Thanks for including me in your coming out video, and
Glad you're here.
I'm on Team Raven.
Yay!
So take care, man.
All right. So, wow, that was interesting. Joe is good people. I know it. You know it. We all know it. So, I'm about to shut this down, I think. Leave a comment for those of you who are going to be watching after I shut this down. Leave a comment. Think about some of the questions that I've asked and comment about that. Let me know what you're thinking, what you're feeling. If you want to call me names, you can do all of that down in the comment section. To steal a word from the Vlog Brothers, there are links in the doobly-doo to my GoFundMe, to my Amazon wish list, to my Twitter, to all kinds of stuff. Looking forward to seeing the makeup videos. Yeah, I'm actually kind of looking forward to making them. Yay. All right, guys. I'm gonna go and I'll see you next time because I will be doing both live streams and posting videos again. So I always enjoyed this kind of stuff. Alrighty, bye now.